Welcome back to the floor of the CME Group here in Chicago on December 10th, this Friday. I'm Killer from Treasury Curve. Treasury Curve is an institutional money market portal. We assist firms in their overnight cash. I want to talk about this trade. I want to get into the zone, the CMZ zone. You can follow me throughout the day at The Killer. That's my Twitter. You can catch up with me there. But some interesting developments transpired again. You know, this Ireland situation got pushed off a little bit. They're going to vote in Parliament on December 15th, possibly get those funds on the 16th, that subsequent day. We'll see if that comes to fruition. A lot of moving parts still in Europe. Currently, the euro currency a little bit down overnight. I think I've talked, it's a broken record. How many times have I said that 132.61 is a great pivot? It got played again last night. So look at that. I think this morning the University of Michigan came out a little better than expected. It was 74.2 versus 71.6. Like I said, right now with the bid that's in the market, these numbers, they don't really play the typical barometer that they have in the past. The SPOO's bid. The SPOO made another new contract high, 1238.25. Is it going to go higher? It kind of feels like it. However, that old last week high of 27.75, that 27.28 level, has really turned into a floor for us here. The low overnight, 31.50. We get under 27, could be some fireworks. But right now, it's kind of a muted trade. Not a lot of interest. Friday, Santa Claus is coming to town. I've gone over this a couple of times. I know Santa Claus is coming to town, but that Grinch, he's sneaking around that back door trying to peep through that window, so be mindful of that. China, big deal tomorrow in China. These are some of the hot topics going on right now. China, if those rates move, that could hit the commodities, could hit our markets. No one really seems to be too nervous though today with the SPOO essentially unchanged or up a couple. The SPOO, it's every time you look at it, it's up 3-4 handles. It doesn't go down. And I was actually talking to a trader the other day. He said, oh, I'm either long or flat. And when you start hearing things like that from a trader perspective, when you start hearing, I'm only trading from the long side or the flat side, there's something around the corner. Another shoe's going to drop. So I'm not the biggest bear until we get under 27 and truly under 16 in the SPOO. But once that gets under there, look out, there could be some volatility and some volume to return to this market. Let's talk about the Treasury. We talked about this Treasury all week, just a wild, wild ride. I talked about that room of 1,000 people, and there was this 3-foot by 3-foot door, and there were people flying out of that room. When that thing broke on Tuesday in the initial auction, it went down hard, and people got smoked. And I think the room is lessened now. There's probably 500 people in that room. So I spoke to it yesterday. I called that move on the 30-year auction. They were going to come and grab them. Let's think about this. Uncle Sam had $600 billion of long-term debt to buy, and they're going to put it out in that 10-year bucket all the way out to the 30-year bucket. So they came and bought them. And actually, if you follow me on Twitter, I actually saw a move right prior to the auction results. They bought the hell out, they bought the heck out of it. Have to be proper there. They bought the heck out of that prior to that number coming out. And they rallied them all the way back up. They went up to that 20 level, touched it, came off, went back down to that pivot I've spoken to, 121.28, went all the way back up, tested the high. Currently, they're a little unchanged, a little short today, but I think they're going to find a little bit of a bounce, like I stated yesterday. That 30-year, we had a low overnight of 121.13. It was actually put in prior to the number today. And that 122.19, that's the third time we've been up there in the last 24 hours. Watch that. Get above there. There could be some retracement. I spoke to the chart. There's some back and fill possibilities there. Be mindful. The 10-year, low of 120, 12.5. That 0.8 high yesterday, that was great. They touched there. They bought everything they could on that auction, and it flushed right back down. That 27.5 pivot, that's the pivot we got to be mindful of yesterday, and I want to look to it again today. It's Friday. There's not a lot of volume going on right now. There's been a wild week in Treasuries. People have gotten their faces ripped off. They tried, to be long, and they're trying to catch that knife falling down. But if you're short, you're happy, and you're shutting up shop for the week, and you're going to enjoy this weekend. Let's talk SPOO. SPOO, another new contract high. It's killing me. 5.5% up. Now, I'm not trying to speak a bear. I'm trying to approach this in an agnostic sense. But 5.5% since December 1st, too much, too fast. So 1238.25 right there. I don't think we're gonna do anything today. It's gonna be an overnight, kind of over the weekend situation. Let's look to China, let's look to Europe. Maybe there's new development in Europe, good or bad, but be mindful that above there's a 45 resistance level and a 54 resistance level. The euro currency, the 132.61 weekly pivot, that has been money. You play that pivot, you're happy with the killer right now, because at 132.61 we have gone above and below. We're currently below. We're talking about the 200-day moving average. I sound like a broken record on the 200-day moving average, but we want to go there. 131.34, and the line in the sand is at 131.28. You know, underneath there, timber. This thing is going south in a hurry. And there's all it is one catalyst out of Europe, one bad thing to get underneath that line. And people, just like the Treasury complex I talked about, 1,000 people in a room, the 3-foot by 3-foot door, there's 2,000 people in that room with a 2-foot by 2-foot door. So remember, these levels, today's kind of a muted volume day, but they're going to be positioning each other ahead of the weekend. I'm the killer, from the floor of the CME group. Remember, be the hammer, not the nail.